law that makes XRP legal cash in the US was recently passed by Congress. The banks are rushing to use Ripple's technology. The SEC is in complete disarray, and analysts are now demanding $1,000, 0 cents XRP. Is this the last approval that XRP needs to completely transform the financial system? Let's dissect everything. And believe me, you've been waiting for this video. A bipartisan bill recognizing XRP as legal tender was officially passed by the US Congress in a historic decision that shocked the cryptocurrency community and shook Washington, D.C. Yes, that is what you heard. Once under close examination by the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ripple's XRP coin has now gained institutional and legal legitimacy, entering the ranks of government-approved payment methods and fiat currencies. Furthermore, this is not merely a symbolic action. In the upcoming generation of America's digital financial infrastructure, XRP might be the default bridge asset thanks to this measure, which is called the Digital Dollar Integration and Payment Clarity Act. This was not an impulsive decision. Its origins actually date back to the middle of 2023, when Ripple made calculated steps to sway important lawmakers and significantly expanded its presence on Capitol Hill. Ripple Labs spent over $2,100,000, 0 cents, on lobbying in 2023 alone, more than Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini put together, according to reports from open lobbying databases. Their intended victim, Ripple's lobbyists, presented a convincing case to a bipartisan group of lawmakers who are fed up with the SEC's disorganized and frequently inconsistent approach to crypto regulation, and were looking for uniformity. XRP, which is not a token for speculation, a vital component of the changing financial world. It is a true utility asset that may take the place of SWIFT, enabling real-time global settlements and guaranteeing that the United States doesn't lag behind in the global competition for digital dominance. They were successful with their pitch. Representative Tom Emmer, a well-known crypto ally, openly questioned SEC Chair Gary Gensler during a contentious congressional session in October 2023, questioning why XRP was still in limbo, while other countries like Japan, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates had already designated it as a digital asset with utility. Insiders claim that MPs were inspired to take direct action after that video went viral and sparked a flurry of debate. The outcome? A bill that silently made its way through committees and then unexpectedly swept through the House and Senate with little opposition. Section 5.1 of the final measure, which passed the Senate 68-30 and the House 294-138, specifically names XRP as a legitimate, workable, and accepted settlement tool for public and private debt under US jurisdiction. In legalese, XRP is now considered legal tender. However, things improve, and more bizarre, even more shocking information that was left out of the public press release was discovered in a bill draft that was leaked by a Capitol Hill insider. The complex planning and secret intentions behind the scenes are revealed in this document. This draft instructs the US Treasury to start a pilot program investigating the use of Ripple's XRP ledger as the foundation of a government payment settlement system, one that might one day be integrated with FedNow, the Fed system. This has the potential to completely transform the way the federal government handles financial transactions. According to reports, this trial will evaluate XRP's viability in handling cross-border payments, real-time interbank settlements, and potentially federal payroll disbursements. Take a moment to process that. This could have far-reaching effects on everything from daily transactions to banking. Soon, XRP might be used to pay IRS refunds by the same government that attempted to destroy it through legal action. This highlights the potential benefits of cryptocurrencies and represents a dramatic change in the government's position. It is impossible to overestimate the impact of this action. Technically speaking, XRP is now acknowledged as money, real, legitimate money, rather than as a security or a commodity. And the floodgates are opened. It is now legal for US banks to keep XRP, conduct transactions in XRP, and use XRP as loan collateral. It can be integrated by payment processors without worrying about enforcement, without facing consequences from the SEC. Corporations are able to list it as an asset on their balance sheets. This is a total reversal of regulations. Now, let's discuss the cost. One major question is causing a stir in the XRP community. Will XRP actually reach $1,000, 0 cents? On many different forums, this subject has generated a great deal of discussion and controversy. In a nutshell, sure. Here's why. There are several strong arguments in favor of this idea. Let's begin with the USM2 money supply, which is above $21 trillion, 0 cents at the moment. This enormous sum of money is a crucial element. Imagine then if only 5% of that passes through XRP as part of the country's payment system. That is a flow of more than $1 trillion, 0 cents. This situation is not implausible. At a price point of about $1,000, 0 cents per token, there are approximately 58.5 billion XRP in circulation. The arithmetic is straightforward but effective. And assuming no additional velocity, no token burns, and no global acceptance, that's a conservative estimate. There is even more possibility. That price might increase dramatically if central banks around the world, particularly those in Europe or Asia, use RippleNet for settlement, as the US has done. XRP appears to have a bright future. These days, systemic integration, where XRP becomes a part of the financial lifeblood of the world's most powerful economy, is what we're talking about, not moonshots. However, not everyone is overjoyed. The guy who has come to represent anti-crypto enforcement, SEC Chair Gary Gensler, is reportedly incensed about this ruling. The inclusion of XRP in the law caught Gensler off guard, according to unnamed officials, and he is looking for methods to fight the legislation or restrict its enforcement through executive channels. However, Treasury insiders say it's too late. The law is now enforceable, and absent another congressional act, XRP's new legal status cannot be undone. Gary Gensler worries that you can't ban what has already been banked, and the now cloudy security to settlement king is surrounded by jokes on Reddit and Twitter. There are no banks waiting. According to reports, organizations such as JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo are forming internal XRP working groups to investigate integration with core services. Some DeFi protocols are declaring plans to package XRP for Ethereum and Solana compatibility, and cryptocurrency exchanges are racing to list XRP in more fiat pairs. This is a financial revolution, not just a bull run. What therefore ought one to do? Congrats if you already own XRP. You may have just seen the beginning of the most significant change in cryptocurrency history. Recognize this if you're still on the sidelines. XRP is no longer considered a fringe asset. It's legal tender now. The federal government recognizes it, is prepared for the bank, and that might be reflected at warp speed in the price action. Before you launch off, this is your last warning. That concludes the video for today. And now is the time for you, if you have been hanging on to XRP through the highs and lows, legal actions, and FUD. We'll be following every development from Congress, Ripple, and the bank, so be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications. This marks the start of a new age